You all members of the fourth estate for this press release. Today is Tuesday, October 28, 2025, and as a KTDA board members representing the East region, we wish to address recent discussions and public concerns following the conclusion of the financial year 2024-2025 accounts and the declaration of the final green leaf payments. We acknowledge the questions raised by farmers, governments, and other stakeholders on the drop of this year's payments compared to last year, the differences between factories and regions, and the ongoing audit directives by the Ministry of Agriculture. As representatives of farmers, we understand the importance of transparency and accountability in the management of our tea proceeds. The reduction in this year's payments is mainly attributable to a combination of weak foreign currency and lower international tea prices. That is also combined with the fact that we lost several markets, including Sudan. We have lost the market in Iran. We have lost markets that are occasioned or are affected by the dollar. Even Pakistan is not buying our teas as much as we would have wanted them to buy. During the year 24-25 financial year, the average exchange rate for the US dollar declined from 144 to an average of 129. This resulted in a reduction of our shillings, Kenya shillings, as converted from the US dollars. Additionally, the average price of maize tea dropped from 389 per kilogram last year to 309 this year as an average. That decline is a decline of an average of 80 shillings, equivalent to 20 shillings per kilo of green leaf, if you are to consider the outturn of about 25%. Green leaf production also increased by about 12% from 1.4 billion kilograms last year to 1.2 billion kilograms this year, further impacting overall revenues. Despite these challenges, the market team achieved commendable progress of selling 318 million kilograms in the year as compared to 290 in the previous year. This marks a significant improvement from the previous period where more than 100 million kilograms of tea remained unsold. It is imperative to know that when tea remains unsold, it means that there will be a glut in the market, and therefore the market forces will come at play and will not be able to fetch as good prices as would have fetched the previous year. Factories in the east of it maintained strong performance despite in the face of global market challenges, recording the following average made tea prices. Kiambu made 371 shillings per kilo, a drop of 46 shillings. Moranga had 376, a drop of 42 shillings from the previous year. Nyeri had 388, a drop of 42 from the previous year. Kirinyaga had 400, a drop of 38 from the previous year. Embu was at 404, down by 34 shillings, while Meru was at 381, down by 46 shillings. We note that even within the east of Rift region, some factories also recorded very low bonus rates. We are deeply concerned about this outcome and share the disappointment of our farmers. Nonetheless, we remain committed to working collectively to identify and implement lasting solutions that will ensure fair and sustainable returns for all farmers across the country. Despite these challenges, the East of Rift region has continued to fetch better prices at the international market, largely due to our unwavering commitment to quality. Our factories do not compromise on the quality of their tea. This strict adherence to standards has helped the region minimize losses, reduce redundancy, and maintain the confidence of international buyers. Factories in these regions have invested in modern processing technologies, efficient energy solutions, and quality assurance systems that ensure consistency in the final product. These deliberate efforts have positioned East of Rift teas among the most sought after globally. We wish to reassure our farmers that every shilling earned is accounted for and used to improve their welfare. Our accounts are audited regularly and transparently, and our financial reports are available for all stakeholders through proper governance channels. We are fully aware of the ongoing calls for audit, and we affirm our openness to scrutiny. We want to say that even as the ministry calls for audit of our factories, we are demanding an audit of tea hawking. We are demanding an audit of licenses that are granted to private factories. Because we must say here that the reason why we have price differential between the two industries, between the two regions, is because there's rampant hawking of tea. Our KTDA managed factories have been robbed of their tea, and therefore they are not able to operate optimally. You can imagine a factory that has a 2-line or a 3-line factory that is supposed to receive probably 150 kilograms of tea a day, receiving 30,000 kilograms of tea. What happens? The fixed costs are going to rise because you're not going to sack people by the day, you're not going to reduce the cost of electricity, you're going to use the same firewood, you're going to use the same lorries to go and fetch that tea. So if there is not sufficient tea leaf that is coming to our factories, then we will continue bleeding. And therefore the cost of producing 1 kilo of made tea becomes very high for the factories in the West. And that lies with the ministry. So as you ask for that audit, please ask for an overall audit that goes all the way to why there is tea poaching in the West of Rift. We are fully aware of the ongoing calls for audit and affirm our openness and scrutiny. We will cooperate fully with all lawful governance processes, and any individual found guilty of misusing funds should be dealt with in accordance with the law. Our commitment to accountability remains unwavering. As board members, we continue to uphold the principles of good corporate governance and ethical leadership in all operations. Despite global challenges, factories in the East of Rift have remained stable and resilient, guided by the disciplined leadership, sound financial management, and strict adherence to KTDA's governance standards, and the region continues to demonstrate accountability and use of farmers' funds. Our factories have consistently reinvested in infrastructure and sustainability projects that secure long-term benefits for farmers. The East of Rift holds the highest number of mini hydropowers among KTDA managed factories. A clear statement or testament that our commitment to innovation, clean energy, and cost reduction. These initiatives have not only lowered our production costs but also enhanced factory competitiveness. It is important at this juncture for me to address an issue that has been raised by a section of members of parliament from the West of Rift, claiming that money from the West of Rift was taken and brought to the East of Rift to make sure that we have hydros that we use to reduce cost of power. I want to tell them to take some time and understand this industry and this business, because we have 3 operational small hydropowers in the East of Rift, namely Gura, Metumi, and now Nyamindi. And now we have the greater and we have Chania, which is held between Matara and Gere. And we are working towards having the greater Meru. But I want to say that every coin that has gone to manufacturing or making or creating or building those small hydropowers has come from the respective factories that benefit from that company. In fact, I want to say here that monies that were raised to the tune of 450 million by the factories from the Zone 1, namely Kamba, Kagwe, Theta, Ndarugo, Kashage, and Matara, a whooping 450 million has been led to some other farm in the West of Rift. In actual sense, what has been purported by those members of parliament the management of the tea sector to remain free from political interference. KTDA, a private organization owned by farmers, must be allowed to operate independently. Political disruptions create uncertainty amongst international buyers and weaken confidence in global markets, ultimately hurting farmers' earnings. The tea industry thrives best under stability, professionalism, and collaboration among stakeholders. Preserving the independence and integrity of sector institutions is therefore essential to maintaining Kenya's reputation for producing high quality and reliable teas. Our focus remains on ensuring the farmers' incomes are stable, sustainable, and progressively improved through long-term strategic initiatives. Enhancing efficiency and quality in tea processing, we continue to modernize our factories to improve operational efficiency, reduce wastage, and enhance the quality of made tea. Investments in upgraded machinery and better factory management practices are already yielding positive results, ensuring that our teams remain competitive in both local and international market. And I must thank President William Ruto for standing with this industry and granting us the 3.7 billion concessional loan from KDC that is available to all factories. And we urge everybody who has an aging factory to get into that kitty and make sure that we improve our factories and our production processes. KTDA is scaling up production of branded orthodox and specialty teas to access higher value markets globally. These efforts aim to reduce dependence on traditional bulk tea exports and ensure farmers benefit from premium pricing. We take pride in collective efforts of our farmers, factory directors and management teams who continue to uphold integrity, discipline and accountability in managing factory operations. The East of Rift, and so should the West of Rift, remains firmly committed to safeguarding farmers' interests and contributing positively to the growth and sustainability of Kenya's tea industry. Together, we will continue to innovate, improve efficiency, and strengthen the resilience of our tea sector for generations to come. I want to say that one of the reasons why we find ourselves here is to dispel and to disabuse the country and the public and the farmers of the lies that have been peddled here for a very long time. During this payment, we said that individual factories go to the market individually, carrying individual garden marks. We have 142 garden marks from Kenya. But I also want to say that at Tiata in Mombasa, we have many teas from many garden marks. In fact, we sell teas at Tiata that come from Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and as far down as Malawi. We have companies from Rwanda that fetch as much as $5, and the people from the East do not say that now we should also get $4 because we go to the market with our own garden marks. We want to say that this notion that has been created by people who do not understand this industry is misleading. When members of parliament go and pick microphones and say that the East of Rift has taken money from the West of Rift, they are just misleading farmers. We feel the pain of the people in the West of Rift, and we also feel the pain of our farmers. We would wish to pay a lot more than we have paid. But unfortunately, the prices at the market are not dictated by us. We want to say on the issue of tasting tea and testing. Today, if you go and sit somewhere, you are likely to find someone who asks for mango flavor of any beverage that they take, while another one takes orange. And you cannot tell the person who's taking orange to stop taking orange and take mango because you produce mango. So we ask the market to go with the buyers, because that is the truth. And they stop lying to the people that and to the farmers that this money went to. And by the way, I would want to urge the farmers from the West. You know, the sheep spends its entire life running away from the hyena, only to be slaughtered by the shepherd. Those people are preparing you to slaughter you. The people who stood and gave a press conference, they are the ones who are the owners of the factories that are eating into our tea. They are the owners. Those are the hyenas that want to eat the farmer in the West. We want to say the issues of cost of production. Even if you sold the same tea at the same price, and your cost of production is higher than another factory, you will not pay the same price. You will not give the second payment to the farmer equally. Because what we pay to the farmer is what we get in the market minus the cost of production. The cost of production is a factor of fuel, is a factor of wood, is a factor of how many labor, is a factor of electricity, is a factor of many things. And therefore, when I hear the PS speaking and giving us a lecture, because probably someone is interested in a political seat, please, I beg, do not ride on the farmers' backs to enrich yourself, to go and get a political seat, and in your wake, you leave impoverished farmers. We are asking that we exercise sobriety. The government of William Ruto has really tried by supporting us with subsidized fertilizer, which I would beg that we fast track on the payment, because as a company we are hurting. But we have some people in that government who do not want to see success of farmers, whose sole interest is their seats post 2027. We ask you, gentlemen, be kind, be gracious enough, be magnanimous enough to allow farmers to earn their sweat. Your seat can come later. Those people who stood here and gave us a lecture are the same ones who made a law that stopped direct sales overseas, where we used to sell almost 27% of our teas, occasioning the glut that happened in Mombasa, occasioning the price fall, occasioning the plummeting of prices. But when they speak like angels. I dare say those are wolves in sheepskin. And the Bible warns us 17 times that we must be afraid of the times that will come when there will be wolves who will be dressed as sheep, but inside they're dangerous wolves. I want to urge my colleagues in Parliament, especially from the west of Rift, before you open your mouth, take responsibility of your words. Take some time to know what this tea industry represents. Take some time to understand how this market works. Take some time to understand why things work the way they work. I want you to tell us, as you lecture us, some of you even sit in the Agriculture Committee, tell us what you've done about the rampant licensing of independent factories to a tune of 72 now. All of them that are preying on factories, the KTDA managed factories in the West. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us, you are the oversight people. Tell us what you're doing when the CS and the PS remove and reintroduce price floors at will, at their whims. Whimsically, you just wake up in the morning, you decide, okay, today the price is going to be this. What are you doing to them? Parliament must exercise its oversight role. Before you talk to us, tell us what you have done to make sure that our missions abroad are carrying out our business, are selling our tea, our ambassadors for our business. Before you open your mouths, tell us what you're doing about the cost of production. Tell us what you're doing about the electricity cost that is killing us as a whole. We are going as far as creating small hydros because the price of electricity is untenable to all of us. Yeah. Tell us what you're doing about implementing wheeling. Some of these small hydros can help people as far as Kamba. If we are allowed to use the national grid for wheeling and we are willing to pay a little money. But you in Parliament want to sit there and just come and get political mileage out of a bad situation instead of helping your own farmers. Tell us what you're doing. I saw some of you there and they're members of the Energy Committee. Tell us what you're doing about wheeling, which we have been trying to push, but because we do not have as much muscle and you do not have as much microphones as you do, then we are not able to push that sufficiently. So I want to say that audit you want to do is welcome. Nobody here is afraid of being audited. But we also want to say that as you auditors, please make sure that you carry that cost. We will not allow a repeat of last year, where you went and told IEBC to conduct elections and then you left farmers to pay that, to carry that burden. We shall not allow. If you're interested in audit it and pay. He who pays the piper calls the tune. You cannot call the tune and we pay the piper. You cannot have power. You will not enjoy power without responsibility. The prerogative of the harlot throughout the ages. We shall not allow that. So I want to say that this industry must be protected. And I am calling upon the president to protect this industry, because you know the importance of this industry in the money that we earn. in the dollars, that in the foreign exchange that we earn as a country. We all understand the importance of this country. I ask the president to protect us from this untenable politics that is coming from right, left, and center. And I want to caution PS Rono. Unajua ni vizuri kusema hakuna kudanganya tena. Tumechoka. Sisi ile mumea tumebaki nayo hapa katikati ya nchi ni chai. Sisi tumekuwa hapa long enough, tukaona industry ya cotton ikianguka, tumeona kahawa ikianguka, tumeona pyrethrum ikianguka, tumeona miwa ikianguka. Sisi hatutaketi hapa na tukubali wewe utuangushie industry. Those volatile statements you're making, you will desist. And if you do not desist, we shall not allow an industry to go down under your watch. We shall not sit here and watch as you bring down an industry. Na hiyo siasa yako duni ya pesa kidogo ya kujifaidisha wewe na watu kidogo hapo binafsi hatutakubali. Sasa mimi nataka kumuita huyu wa Susana akuje aseme kitu.
Directors and the press. Mumesikia hiyo ya mwisho? Mumesikia ya mwisho? Wewe PS Rono wewe. Jacob Kamau Kahio, former chairman ya TBK, alikuwa anaamka kila asubuhi anasema KTDA. Anaenda lunch KTDA. Anaenda choo KTDA. Anaenda sapa KTDA. Wewe Rono wewe sasa ndio umekuwa Jacob Kamau Kahio. Sisi leo hapa tunaomba president ya kwamba akifanya reshuffle wewe uende nyumbani. Uende ukatafute kura. Hiyo unatafuta. I've never seen a permanent secretary who has so much time kwenda kwa buying center. Mmewahi sikia? Hapana. Kwani umekosa kazi ya kufanya unaenda buying center? Permanent secretary anachukua microphone. Anaanza kuongea ati directors we are farmers before we became directors. Say that again. We are farmers before we became directors. Even now. And we are still farmers even now. And we shall remain farmers. Na kama kwenyu kuna shida, wewe enda ukatengeneza shida ya? Hapa kwetu hatuna shida. Ati mnataka kwenda hivi ati muangushe KTDA, ati mtutoe, ati ndio mchukue kampuni. Shame on you. Hakuna kampuni unachukua. Ati mumeketi chini hapo, mnatengeneza ati kampuni ya kuja kufanya ati management service. Wewe enda tengeneza kampuni ya kufanya management service kwa chai yako. Hapana chai ya sisi. Yote tumekubaliana director. Na tunaomba president, tulikuwa kwa president juzi. And I thought the president gave us a clean bill of health. Because the president would have complained then. Hata angetuita huko. Si kweli? Sasa tunaomba president atuite sisi directors wa kutoka East. Tumueleze ya kwamba kama juzi kulikuwa, you can even see it, chai inaibiwa pande ile. Inaibiwa na malori kwa factory. Na ukipiga hiyo report, they do nothing about it. Where bwana PS, you know about the stealing of tea that is going on in your place. Yes. And you have done nothing. Sasa unakuja kusema ati audit. Nani anaogopa audit? Yes. Kwanza ukuje uanze na kwangu. Yes. Na ukifanya ulipe. Yeah. Sio ni sawa? Yes. Kuna itani.
Sema ile hiyo.
My name is Elizabeth Modhoni Waithanje. I am the chair lady of Getuge Tea Factory. I would like, on behalf of my fellow directors from the East, to dispel the myth that organoleptic tea testing by tasting is not scientific. It is scientific. And there are many ways of testing something good. And organoleptic is one of them. And I wish to give you an example of a beautiful girl. When you see a beautiful girl, do you take her to the lab to be tested? For her blood to be tested that she's beautiful? Because of that, I want to tell the proponents of scientific testing, whatever that means, because organoleptic is also scientific, that tea testing will continue, and it's a scientific method, just like any other. My second, I can say this in Swahili, kuna watu ambao wanachapa ile kuangalia quality ya majani na kuonja, na wanasema sio njia ya kisayansi, lakini hiyo pia ni njia ya kisayansi, kwa sababu kuna njia nyingi za kuangalia uzuri wa kitu. Kwa mfano, niwaulize, msichana mrembo, ukiangalia si unaona ni mrembo? Au unampeleka laboratory apimwe damu, apimwe urembo? So hiyo ndio swali yangu ya wale wanasema organoleptic is not scientific. Number 2, I would like to say that in the reform agenda, we have gone very far. But we have struggled immensely in financial reforms. According to the management agreement, factories are supposed to control the money, their money, but still somebody is borrowing and lending our factories money left and right. And indeed, there is lending from the east and lending from the west. To the east, to the west, it's haphazard. So when I hear people saying that we have borrowed money from the west to pay our farmers, I just want to correct that indeed the west has borrowed a lot of money from the east compared to what the east has borrowed. The west has borrowed 9-point-something billion, 14 billion actually, 14.7 billion, and the east has borrowed about 400 million from the west. So let us not have people saying that we paid our farmers with borrowed money from the west. That is lies. That is propaganda. And with that, I close my case. Have a good afternoon.
Very good. Acha tu salimiwe na board member kutoka Nyeri, zone 4.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is David Dongo, board member, zone 4. And for me, I just want to disabuse a propaganda that is being propagated by our PS, our Honorable PS Rono, concerning the bonus payment. And I want to tell the whole Republic that Bomet County, as far as payment of bonus is concerned, they are number 4 in the country. And I would urge the farmers of the whole Republic to read newspaper of today, page number 9. And that is where we have put the whole information and the correct information concerning the bonus payment. And you are going to realize that because for the rest of Rift factories, they are very endowed with quantity, they are reaping big. And actually, Bomet County is number 4 in the country. Then if you go down, number 6 is Kerisho. So when they say that their farmers are earning peanuts, it is just because of market dynamics. For them, they have, there is market for everything, which is even a strategy. For us, East, we are on quality. For West, they are good at quantity. And they are okay because at the end of the day, it's about what gets in your pocket. So for the Bomet County, for Kerisho, you see they are having a lot of money. Actually, Bomet received 6.6 billion. Kerisho allowed 6.3 billion. They have even defeated a county like Nyeri and other counties in the east of Rift. So when we propagate propaganda, and basically you know that politics simply is putting your own interest appearing to be like other people's interests. So we already know what we are looking for. But we are urging you to be kind to our farmers and don't write down maybe the payment that they received. So Kaide, we are requesting that please let's get out of politics out of tea and let us work for the farmers because they have given the directors mandate for 3 years. So thanks a lot, and as we request our president to intervene. Thank you so much.
Let's have the member for Zone 6. Go first, Enos.
Thank you very much. Also to add on what has been said by our board members. I'm direct board member Enos from Embu, and just wanted to also to add something on this, that if government really want to help tea farmers, they should consider this product is levied on very many taxes than any other product. Tea product is levied over 40 taxes. And right now, government is taking and getting advantage of the income or revenues that they fetch from these tea earnings. Why it is a praise of earning so much is because of these taxes. And I want to say this, we are even not ready to pay for tea levy, because this tea levy should come from the government to help the tea farmers market their teas. Right now, we cannot sell our teas at Garissa because there are so many inter-county levies that a person is supposed to pay from one county to the other. So we want also this one to be considered. And I want to say this, that we are, even if earth comes down on earth, west of Rift, you will not pay anything much better than the east if you not focus on quality. If you focus on politics, you will die, and you'll die. Where is our CS agriculture? When Munya was in this ministry, we could see him going around everywhere, sensitizing farmers on quality and even on good market. We say, President, we urge you, let Munya come back. Come back, Munya. Come back, Munya. We don't want science shows. We want seriousness in this business. And for this, I say, we are still on course to make sure our farmers shine. Thank you very much.
We have the board member from Zone 2, Bwana Mwangi, karibu.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. My name is Gedenje Mwangi from Murang'a. I also come here to reiterate and beseech the PS Agriculture and advise the PS that the system of KTDA and its production and manufacturing and selling, it is a very clear system. It is a clear system, and as directors, we've been elected by the farmers. And the system is, because I've seen that he has already commissioned an audit, right now we speak, the factories have been audited by independent auditors, and as next month comes, the factories will hold the annual general meetings, and the books will be presented to the shareholders for approval. So we'll beseech the PS to at least respect that system, and if there is an audit that is supposed to happen, I will request the PS to do the legislative audit. He should do an environmental audit for him to be aware what environment is the tea business operating on. So we'd like him not to interfere, and then the farmers learn their business, and this tea business is a business like any other. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For the avoidance of doubt, and I am glad that Dr. Waithanje has said it here. The East of Rift, kwa wale wanaenda kueneza uvumi kwamba pesa imetolewa magharibi mwa nchi ikaletwa mashariki mwa nchi. The East of Rift has loaned the West of Rift 14.7 billion Kenya shillings as at 30th September 2025. 14.7 billion shillings was outstanding from the East of Rift, against a mere 422 million that has been borrowed by the East from the West. So if you net that off, you find that 14.5 billion shillings is outstanding from the East. I also want to say that all the monies for example, Chemuka, regional power company that was contributed by respective factories was appropriated as equity because the money that was produced or the money that was put together contributed was not sufficient to finish the project. What we have done as KTDA is because there is a lot of issues around interfactory borrowing. We have stopped it forthwith. KTDA has negotiated and entered into an agreement with Kenya Commercial Bank to have a concessional of a loan of 20 billion, which is available or which can be drawn down by any factory at will. And that is a use of KTDA as a collective, because KTDA can guarantee a factory that could not have managed to produce or to secure such a loan so that it can go on and engage in improvement of its infrastructure and then repay with a guarantee by our books. And that is why we're asking the government, when you think, wherever you're sitting, and I am clear that the president knows what I'm talking about, when you ruin the name of KTDA, or when you affect the books of accounts of KTDA, you're not just affecting KTDA Holdings. You're affecting the ability of factories, all of them, the 71 of them, to access credit and to be guaranteed by a healthy company or a company that has healthy financial status. So we are praying, tafadhalini, mimi naomba tuje pamoja, tuketi, na mimi ninafurahia kwamba kutakuwa na mkutano wa watu wote ambao wanahusika na majani chai katika juma lijalo. Nadhani ni tarehe 7. I know T-Board is going to communicate. Mahali ambapo sisi wote tutaketi na tuongee maneno peupe. Tuwache hii pasiwe na mmoja anaenda kuongea huko pembeni anadanganya wakulima akiwa peke yake. Na ndio tupate suluhu ya kuuliza, je, mkulima ambaye alienda kwa shamba mwaka mzima akabeba majani chai, akakuwa pale kwa mvua, akakuwa pale kwa jua, pesa yake itapatikana vipi? Tusije hapa kucheka. We cannot be dancing at people's graves. We cannot be making political careers out of people's poverty. We cannot be making such reckless mistakes against a suffering farmer. It is completely uncouth. It is uncalled for. It is irresponsible. It must be stopped. And therefore, mimi nataka kuambia wale watu ambao hawajaelewa vile soko ya majani chai inaendelea. Wale watu ambao nimesikia mgogoro mkubwa uko katika mambo ya testing. Ni vizuri kusema hapa kwamba soko letu na liliharibiwa na wengine wako huko bunge. Wakasema kwamba majani chai yote lazima yapelekwe Mombasa. Sasa hata mtoto mdogo, nani hajui ikiwa kuna majani mengi na wanunuzi ni wachache, nani hajui bei itaenda chini? When we present 100 million kilograms against the capacity of the market, which is 8 million kilos, what do you expect of the price? And that is where we are asking that the law that shall be discussed in Parliament next week must reflect industry needs. It must, and I say must, and retaliate must reflect the industry needs. The regulation by T-Board of Kenya must regulate, and I say must regulate, according to the will of the people and according to what benefits the people. Hide and seek with such an industry, you're playing hide and seek with a whole section of the population. It must be stopped. I make an appeal to the CS Agriculture. You're a sober man. You know the truth. I have seen you address issues in macadamia. I've seen you address issues even here with tea. But I think due to the nature of our industry, we need to see you more often. We need to hear you more often. And you need to come to the defense of farmers more often. Yes. We beg you, Bwana CS, You have time, I know. And I know you mean well. I know you mean good for the farmers. Please come to the rescue of the farmer. And please, tame your peers. Please tame your peers. Mwambie tu muketi pamoja muongee hapo vizuri, mkunywe chai hapo, mkiongea umwambie. Hii industry, hiyo kelele itaumiza wakulima. Na mimi naomba wakulima wetu wasiumie. Kwa hayo machache, mimi nawaombea kila laheri, na mimi naomba wakulima wetu waendelee kuboreka na kuboresha majani chai ambayo tunayachuna, ndiposa tuweze kupata bei njema. Tutachukua maswali mawili ama matatu kutoka kwa media.
My name is Mwangi from KTDA. Thank you for the report that you just shared. Mine is after the questions, maybe you can speak a bit of some of us, the Kameme and the others.
Yes, Bambui, we will address you in your local dialects.
Question is, you have spoken
Thank you, Gikandi. Do you want me to take that, or do you want me to take several questions and then we finish? I take that. Yes. Gikandi is asking whether when we say that there is a proliferation of private companies, whether that is to mean that there are more companies licensed than KTDA, that there are more private companies licensed as opposed to KTDA. It is interesting. We have a serious dichotomy. We have 71 KTDA managed factories and 71 privately owned factories, or factories that are not under KTDA. The issue, however, is not licensing. The law is that when you license, you must demonstrate, when you seek a license, you must demonstrate capacity to feed your line. If you're given a one-line factory, you must demonstrate that you have enough tea bushes to feed that one-line factory, so that you do not go to poach tea from someone else's establishment. Therefore, what has happened is that we have had people given licenses without demonstrating their foothold or tea bushes that they have. So what happens? When they run their factories, there will be need for them to go and poach tea from the KTDA managed factories so that they feed their lines. And that is where the problem comes of poaching. And you see what they do, and they're making our work very difficult. In fact, we're even thinking of how to counter it and see if we're able to offer money instantly as KTDA. But you know, we have tried all these things. In fact, I remember Zone 2 had tried to dispense with this issue of second payment that comes once a year and tried to do it in a cascaded way. And the farmers said no, because at times the farmer wants to have a lump sum that they can go and do something needful. I mean, instead of getting little money every now and then, they want to have some second payment so that you can go pay your school fees, or you can go engage in an infrastructure improvement program or something. And therefore, what we're saying is that Tea Board of Kenya, the mandate of Tea Board of Kenya is to make sure that everybody is getting tea from what they declared during licensing. And the only work we're asking them is to enforce that law. That if they give you a license and they say that this license we've given you because you have 1 million tea bushes, if your production exceeds or supersedes what should come from 1 million bushes, then they should come to you. They should crack the whip. And that is why we were saying, instead of coming to KTDA and coming for farmers from the east, go to where the problem is. And the problem is the Tea Board of Kenya. That's where the problem is. If you do not have further questions, okay, all right, I'll take this. Eunice? Alice? Alice from the Star is asking how the stoppage of DSO has affected the tea industry. I have just intimated to the fact that we follow the laws of demand and supply. One of the ways of reducing oversupply, so one of the ways of increasing price is reducing supply. But you cannot tell farmers not to bring tea or to pluck tea because tea is plucked every day. So what do? To reduce the teas available at the auction, at Tiata auction, we had something called direct sales overseas, where factories would negotiate directly with would-be buyers. And we had a law that the price that you give directly must be 15% above what that particular garden mark or that particular factory had achieved the previous week. And the fact is that the payment shall be done directly to the factory. And at times you find buyers who want some specific blends. So they do not get what they want from the auction. They want very unique teas. And they know that they can only get that tea from a certain factory or from a certain garden mark. And therefore, when we stop them, then they have no option than to stop buying tea at all. So we have lost a market for almost 27% of our market. And that is what had occasioned the tea glut that you had seen last year of 104 million kilograms at Mombasa auction. And therefore, we have worked around to return that. But that, what we have done are just temporary measures, because the law as is now, although we are amending it, and as I said, it's coming to Parliament next week, the law as is still talks about all teas being availed or being offered for sale at the Mombasa auction. If you look at the more progressive markets or more progressive producers, and I know you members of the Fourth Estate have had on social media a leader from the Arabic countries saying that they had a sit down with President Kagame, and he said that he's going to offer all the teas from Rwanda to them as opposed to bringing them to Mombasa. So we must be, when people are devising ways to get out of the auction, we are making laws to take every tea to the market to make sure that there is oversupply, and therefore the price is going to drop. And when the price drops, you point at KTDA. We are saying no. What do you wajinga bwana? So we are saying you make laws. And I'm going to appeal to members of the Agriculture Committee or the Departmental Committee on Agriculture, who are my colleagues, and I sit in that committee. We have had discussions, and KTDA has brought in their recommendations to the bill, and Tea Board as well, and all other stakeholders in the tea industry. And all stakeholders, except a few people who have a very selfish interest, are in agreement. Even the private sector, the farms and the estates are not at war with us. We are in the same business. When the business for the private companies goes up, our business goes up. When the prices for the West come up, our prices will come up. It is to our advantage. We are complementary. We are not in competition. And therefore those people who are lying to farmers that their problem is us, hiyo sasa ni ile siasa duni ya ukabila ambayo ilikuwa imeletwa hapa. Unaambiwa wewe Mjaluo umekosa pesa kwa sababu Mkikuyu yako na pesa. Sasa unadanganya mtu ati umeleta ukabila, yani umekosa kitu ya kufanya, umeleta ukabila kwa majani chai. Sasa biashara ukiangalia na hawa watu ambao wanasema ati tuko wengi katika halmashauri ya majani chai, ni vyema wajue katibu wa kilimo ni wa kutoka West, ametoka magharibi mwa nchi. Ni vyema kujua kwamba mkurugenzi mkuu wa Tea Board of Kenya ama halmashauri ya kuangalia maneno ya majani chai anaitwa nani? Anaitwa Mutai. Huo Mutai ukisikia anaitwa Mutai, ametoka magharibi mwa nchi. Ni vyema kujua kiongozi katika halmashauri ya KTDA, kiongozi wa MS anaitwa Bet. Ni vyema kujua finance director wa KTDA anaitwa Rugut. Sasa wakulima wa East waanze kusema pia wanataka Mwaura akuwe finance director ndio kazi endelee. Sasa nimesikia wengine wakisema ati brokers wote ni wakiku. Sasa mimi nikuulize, sisi hapa unaona nani ana license brokers hapa? Si Tibo ndo wenye ku license? Si ni Mutai? Na huo Mutai ndio katika mazishi ya baba yake ndio anatoa mdomo anasema ati pesa imepotelea wapi? Sasa tafadhali, please let us have some sanity in this politics. Tukue na aibu tu kidogo ya kuambia watu ukweli. Usiwe wewe unadanganya kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni. Na mkiketi na yeye kwa hoteli anacheka, anakuambia unajua ni siasa. Siasa gani? Hii si siasa, hii ni biashara. These are people's livelihoods. This is probably the biggest industry. This is probably the biggest industry in agriculture in this country. How can you play politics with it? Na tukikutana Tamarind unacheka unasema ati ni siasa. Siasa gani? Hakuna siasa ya kucheza na wakulima na sisi hatutakubali. Na mimi wacha niseme hivi. Nikimalizia. I will be where the farmers' interest will be. Now, tomorrow, and in the future, and in prosperity, and siku zote. Hakuna siku utanitoa hapo. Na wale watu nasikia wakisema ati sijui directors, sijui wanalipa pesa ngapi, sijui is lucrative. I had the same person saying the other day, he did not know I was in a meeting, saying, these seats are very lucrative, even members.
Can you grow your wealth anywhere? Standard.
And I did not elect myself. I was elected by farmers. And I am not here to represent my interests. I am here to represent the interest of farmers wa majani chai. Na kwa hivyo, mimi nitakaa hapa kidete na hawa wakurugenzi wote watakaa hapa kidete kuhakikisha kwamba haki ya mkulima wa majani chai itapatikana mpaka mwisho. Kwa hivyo, mimi nataka niwashukuru wale members wa the fourth estate kwa kutupa wakati ndio tuweze kujadili mambo hayo ambayo yamekuwa ni mambo yanakera, ni mambo yametuguza sana ya uongo. Na mimi niombe wale wakulima wa kutoka magharibi, tafadhali msiwe wa kudanganyika na hawa watu ambao wanapiga kelele wakiwa kwa magari yao makubwa. Ama bwanyenye ambao wameweka viwanda vya kuwanyanyasa, msikubali waje wawadanganye kwamba mkulima mwingine ambaye alienda shambani asubuhi na mapema kama wewe ati yeye ndio shida yako. Ni uongo. Mimi nataka mjue ni uongo. Na mimi naomba hata hii tea conference tupeleke mahali wakulima wengi kutoka magharibi mwa nchi wataweza kuja. Ndio tuwaelezee kinaga ubaga mambo yanavyoendelea. Kwa hivyo mimi nashukuru sana. Mungu awabariki. Sasa ama tupangane nao kwa lugha zao.